So we have the bruise that's blue and red. And literally, and you could look at the legs too. There might even be hemorrhoids, vascular, varicose veins, stagnant blood. If there's blue vessels with red showing out there in between a pink in the skin, or if you see blue in the center of the tongue and red on the outside, maybe the person's dark colored. You can't see it in the skin so much, but you can see it on the tongue. That indicates Yarrow, Arnica, or Safflower, three particular herbs that they're all related, have that blue and red complexion, but they're all a little bit different. Okay, so we go back in time. We have Arnica, and Arnica grows in the mountains around the world, like 2,000-3,000 feet, low mountains. Even northern Minnesota has 3,500 feet and has Arnica up there. And all the Arnicas have the same property, except that there's one Arnica from Mexico that has a different set of properties. But basically, they could all be used interchangeably. However, Arnica montana, Arnica of the mountains from Europe, is the specific, and you might as well use that. And they do not use the flower because insects lay their eggs in there and cause a derangement of the properties. So there's, it's like you got to get it right. So in the old days, the shepherds would be up in the mountains during the summertime pasturing their sheep, and it'd be 3,000 feet. It's not really high, but it's not farmable, and so they'd go up there, and then as they'd watch their sheep, they'd notice that the sheep, when they'd jump from rock to rock, if they fell and bruised themselves, they would eat this plant, Arnica. And so they learned that Arnica was for bruises, and it was called Fallkraut, herb for fall. It falls in German, I guess that means. And so then they said, we can make some extra money. We'll pick a bunch of this while we're up here and then bring it down to the markets. And that's how it got going as an herb. It was forgotten after a while, and then homeopathy picked it up and herbalism picked it up. This is fairly unsafe for internal consumption. There was a case in Minneapolis where someone poisoned himself by having a cup of the tea, and it was in the newspapers and everything. So just don't take it internally. Maybe one drop is probably permissible, but it's very irritating to the mucosa. It's also, if you put it on a bruise where there's a cut, it will irritate the sides of the cut. It's very irritating. One of the people at present moment, I never did this, but a guy had a bruise and a cut. And he put the Arnica on, and boy, it really bruised along there. If there is a cut with the bruise, you want Yarrow, Yarrow, Yarrow. We'll get to that. Okay, so Arnica is for bruises, strains, sprains, but not a cut. It's not quite as violent. It's like falling on a smooth rock rather than on a jagged piece of glass or something. So